Imagine having a friend who would walk with you into the most dangerous place in the world. A place where no one dares to go. A place guarded by a terrifying monster. Would you still go? Long ago, in the ancient city of Uruk, two heroes decided to do exactly that. Their names were Gilgamesh and Enkidu. They were powerful warriors. But more importantly, they had become true friends, and together they were about to begin an adventure that people would remember for thousands of years. After Enkidu came to Uruk, everything changed for Gilgamesh. Before Enkidu arrived, Gilgamesh was strong and proud, but he often acted alone. Now he had someone beside him, someone who could challenge him, someone who understood him. The two men spent many days together. They trained like warriors. They wrestled and laughed. Sometimes they walked through the busy streets of Uruk while the people watched them with amazement. "Look at them," people whispered. "The king and the wild man have become brothers." And in many ways, that was true. Their friendship grew stronger every day. One evening, Gilgamesh spoke about something surprising. "I want to go on a great adventure," he said. Enkidu looked at him with curiosity. "What kind of adventure?" he asked. Gilgamesh's eyes shined with excitement. "I want to go to the cedar forest." The cedar forest was famous across the land. It was filled with enormous cedar trees. Trees so tall that people said they touched the sky. But the forest was also feared because it was guarded by a terrifying monster. His name was Humbaba. No one dared to enter that forest, but Gilgamesh smiled. "If we defeat Humbaba," he said, "our names will live forever." When Enkidu heard this, his expression changed. He knew something about that forest. Before coming to Uruk, Enkidu had lived in the wild. He had heard stories about Humbaba. "The monster is very powerful," Enkidu said slowly. "His roar is like thunder. His breath is like fire. Even the bravest men are afraid of him." For a moment, the room became quiet. But Gilgamesh did not change his mind. "We are the strongest warriors in the world," he said confidently. "We will go together." Enkidu looked at his friend for a long moment. Then he nodded. "If you go," Enkidu said, "I will go with you." Soon, the people of Uruk heard about their plan. Some people were excited. Others were afraid. The elders of the city spoke to the two heroes. "Be careful," they warned. "The cedar forest is not an ordinary place. Respect the gods and do not become too proud." Gilgamesh and Enkidu prepared their weapons carefully. They carried strong axes. They carried sharp swords. Then, one morning, they left the great gates of Uruk and began their journey. The journey to the cedar forest was long. For many days, the two heroes traveled across the land. Sometimes they walked under the hot sun. Sometimes they crossed wide rivers. At night, they rested under the stars. During the journey, Gilgamesh began to have strange dreams. One night, he dreamed that a huge mountain fell from the sky. Another night, he dreamed that the earth shook like thunder. Each morning, he told Enkidu about these dreams. Enkidu listened carefully. "Do not be afraid," Enkidu said. "Dreams can also be signs of victory." Gilgamesh felt stronger after hearing his friend's words. And so, the two heroes continued their journey, step by step, toward the dark cedar forest. At last, they arrived. The cedar forest stood before them like a silent wall. The trees were enormous. Their branches stretched high into the sky. The air felt heavy and still. Even Gilgamesh felt a small feeling of fear. Enkidu spoke quietly. "This is Humbaba's land." Suddenly, the ground trembled. A deep roar echoed through the forest. The monster had arrived. Humbaba was enormous. His face was terrifying. His eyes burned with anger. His voice rolled through the forest like thunder. "Who dares enter my forest?" he roared. Gilgamesh stepped forward bravely. "We are Gilgamesh and Enkidu of Uruk," he declared. "We are not afraid of you." The monster roared again, and the battle began. The fight was fierce. Humbaba moved with terrible power. The ground shook under his steps. For a moment, it seemed the monster might defeat them. But Gilgamesh and Enkidu fought together, side by side. When one moved forward, the other protected him. When one attacked, the other followed. Their friendship made them stronger. Finally, after a long and exhausting battle, Humbaba fell. The great monster was defeated. The forest became quiet again. The tall cedar trees stood silently around them. Gilgamesh and Enkidu looked at each other. They had done something no one else had dared to do. They had defeated the guardian of the cedar forest. Together, they cut down great cedar trees to bring back to Uruk. Their names would become famous across the land. But far above them, the gods were watching, and the gods were not pleased. Because sometimes, great victories also bring great consequences. The adventure of Gilgamesh and Enkidu was not truly over. Their victory would soon lead to anger from the gods, and to a terrible loss that would change Gilgamesh forever. But that is another part of the story. If you want to continue this journey through ancient history, click the next video on your screen, and I will see you there.